Hey, good afternoon, weightlifting team. This is Coach Myers here to discuss a question that your coach had for me during the off season while you're doing your weightlifting training sessions on how much protein you should be eating before and after exercise. And I also would be remiss if I didn't discuss with you how much protein per day you should be aiming for to be able to get after the gains that you're looking to get after. What you have here is a slide. The slide has a lot of information. It's pretty easy to read, but I do understand it has a lot to take in at one time. So I wanted to make sure that like I did for the cross country team, that I had this video to try and establish as much of an interpersonal relationship slash conversation with you as I could. So with that, I'll get into the slide here, and we'll have a little bit of a discussion with it as well. So the first point on there is how much protein per day. And a lot of these come from the International Olympic Committee and American College of Sports Medicine recommendations that they publish in a piece of literature that I'll provide at the end of this PowerPoint if you do want to go in and take that scientific dive. If not, no worries, it's all on the slide. What I will say is on this first portion here on the how much protein per day, it does get a little complicated. We start, talking about 1.2 to 1.7 grams, kilograms per body weight, and then also, getting into if you're going to go into reduced carbohydrate, how much more you should increase your protein uptake. It's all good. It's all founded in very solid science, but like I said, it can get a little bit complicated. So I do encourage you to read it, but at the end of the day, what I really want you to focus on the part is, what does Coach Myers say? So the timing, so Coach Power is right. The timing of when you take in protein is absolutely critical to being able to maintain the strength gains that you're looking for in your sport, because it is all about strength, and you need muscle to be able to perform your sport, and you need protein in order to create that lean tissue, i.e. muscle, to be able to do what you need to do. So what my recommendation is for you is to aim for plus or minus 20 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day. So put simply, if you're a 200-pound athlete, you should aim for 180 to 220 grams of protein per day to be able to maintain the gains that you're looking for. And also with that window, it does give you a little bit of leeway to go a little short some day and get a little bit more in on additional days. That is the overall daily protein dietary recommendation that I want to provide for you all. But getting to more specific for what Coach Power was looking at is, when do you eat protein? Do you do it before? Do you do it after? Do you do it both? So my recommendation for you is to start with focusing on the post-workout. That is the most critical portion right there. So somewhere the recommendation is in between that 45 to 90 minutes post-exercise. You need to consume around 20 grams of protein. And what this will do is once that protein gets on board in your system and starts to be metabolized, digested, put into the bloodstream, your metabolism kicks in and starts to get to work. That 20 grams has been scientifically found to stimulate muscle protein synthesis in that window there. So you don't need to go overboard. And a lot of people like to think more protein is better, when in reality, more you can eat too much protein. And if you go to 25, 30 grams, is it going to hurt you? No, it's not going to hurt you. But I don't want it to come at the expense of carbohydrate. So if you can, in that 45 to 90 minutes post-exercise, that's the first area that I want you to focus on. Make sure you're getting those 20 grams of protein in, whether that's in a shake. I prefer you time it around a meal, so that way you can get a full rounded uptake of nutrients, of protein, carbohydrate, and fat. But at a minimum, make sure you're hitting that 20 grams of protein in post-workout to stimulate that muscle protein synthesis, so you can continue to see the gains that you want, that you're aiming for. Once you get that down, so again, I want you to focus on getting that part down first, because that is the most critical. And then I do recommend that you get protein in before workout, and that can still be 20, it can be as little as 10 grams. The uptake of protein isn't as critical before as it is on the back end, But with the additional protein on board, is what that'll do is it'll help set the stage for after the workout as well, and hopefully bringing that protein on board as well as the carbohydrate, mainly the carbohydrate before. It'll help spare the protein that you already have in your system being metabolized for energy, and you can use the protein for what you need it for, and that's building muscle. So, but I do ask you, don't lose sight of carbohydrate before you actually work out over protein. So I want you to focus. You must get that carbohydrate in. Your sport has a lot of very violent, powerful movements in there, and those are all powered by carbohydrate. Do you need as much carbohydrate as the cross country team? No, you sure don't, but you do need it to be able to perform in your sport. Also, being able to get it before your actual workout will help contribute to the overall dietary recommended intake that I gave to you of 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, plus or minus 20 every day. Being able to get it in before will help you cover that ground and being able to meet that daily nutrition recommendation. I'll provide my email at the end of this PowerPoint here, as well as those references to the literature that I discussed. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.